said. It was horrible in every aspect. Yes. Why now?
Why not now?
I don't know. I mean,
on the other side of that too.
I just can't stand his bad plastic surgery. I just can't stand it.
You're just breaking it down for us.
I'll just say, there are all the esoteric issues here. That's true. I agree with them all.
Right.
But bad plastic surgery is another thing entirely.
I got an email this morning from one of my comedian girlfriends, and she said, I'm glad he's off. He was an eyesore.
They wouldn't let a woman on the air that looked like that.
Yeah.
Never.
To say nasty things.
I'm glad you raised that point.
That's a good point.
I'm glad you raised that point, because I think that if he had made these racist comments about the basketball players, male basketball players, I don't think he would have done it, first of all. Has he ever done it? No. It's because a woman is easy to kick. Those other guys would have come and kicked his ass.
That's right. They would have.
Exactly.
They would have. And maybe next week, I mean, we've seen some grace and dignity come out of that team from Rutgers, but I mean, if they had their way, you know, maybe if they weren't full of dignity and full of grace, they could take him too. They're pretty strong and tough.
Yeah, but they're not going to. I mean, they're afraid of other men. They don't go after men. Yeah. It's like kick a woman.
Of course not. And what's to be afraid of when you're sitting behind a microphone and you're not looking at the people you're insulting? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, here's a question too. Do you think if you took out the racial element, if it was a white team and he made a joke about them, let's say being fat, or his tattooed, I think, was a gay thing in some capacity. I mean, let's say he did it about groups that don't have the kind of social prominence that the NAACP has and the national leaders like Sharpton and Jackson.
He'd still be on the air.
That's what I think. Would he still be on the air?
Well, I think you have a point. I think that the fact is that the black community, as I said this, I'm repeating myself from the other day, but the fact that Obama is running for president, the fact that the black community has more power, more clout, I think is implied here also.
It's interesting that Obama didn't make a statement for the first really 2 days of this whole thing going on, and then he kind of, I think, got some feedback from the black community saying, where are you? Where's your voice now? And then he kind of stepped in and said, you know what, this is reprehensible, this should not have gone on. These are the kind of comments I've been trying to protect my daughters from, and he made some strong statements afterward.
I love Hillary, but my guess is Hillary was happy in the sense that she's white.
You know what?
She did not have to go low down.
A few years
she
ago,
actually said that she never liked his show and she would never go on his show.
He was horrible to her.
He's also just a mean man. It's cheap shots. You're right. It's like, to me, the same thing as the people behind their computer who can just say evil things about people all day long because you're completely protected.
It's cowardly in a way.
Yeah, they write to me a lot.
They think,
Rosie, you're fat and gay, you're a loudmouth, you're un-American, send. I'm like, oh, God.
You're like, I'm always like, yeah.
Well, look at the gay community. Ann Coulter made some kind of a nasty anti-gay
Well, not just Ann Coulter. What about the head general? He said all gays were immoral. And Pace, and no one said boo. And this is an administration. This is part of the administration, not an entertainer.
Yeah, but you can't get rid of him for that. I mean,
if he's basing it on his moral beliefs, then if it's based on religion, I think there's
no
separation of church and state, my friend.
They asked him, though. They asked him.
Right, but he represents the government.
Stick to don't ask, don't tell.
Right. He represents the government. He's part of this administration, and he gets out there and says that gay people are immoral, innately immoral. There is nothing you can do to be redeemed in this man's eyes, right? Part of the administration, no problem.
Just that, because there's nothing that man could be redeemed about in my eyes. There's nothing about that man that could be redeemed in my eyes.
I agree, General Pace. I agree.
Would you have him fired based on that?
I believe,
he was a great general.
Listen to me. I believe in free speech. I believe in freedom of speech in America. I have to say, we have been systematically dismantling the Constitution since 9/11 with the Patriot Act. I am a fan of free speech, and I hate bigotry, and I hate the political correct atmosphere that makes everyone now walk around like the McCarthy era. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I better not question. I better not say anything. They might out your wife, a CIA agent.
I think it's fine to question. I think it's absolutely fine to question what's going on. We should question what's going on in this war. Politicians, John McCain has been questioning this war from day one, saying, we didn't handle it properly. Now with this new surge, he's questioning it now and realizing that it's actually working right now. It's still so early, and there's still so many evidence out there that it is actually, they're making some progress. And the fact that we're not just going in with the surge and retreating is big.
John McCain is going down in the polls.
Let me tell you why, because John McCain is willing to lose this election and win the war. That is why. And other people out there would rather win the election and lose the war.
A civil war in a country that you do not live in. We are occupying that nation illegally. It's an illegal occupation. That's not what we do in America.
And we need to be there right now. If we are not there, we are going to be a vessel for terrorists to just take over.
You need to do it this way.
Iran is going to be in there if we are not.
But Elizabeth, do you understand that the tactic of fear is used by this administration to immobilize us?
I do not feel that way.
I feel that way.
I do not feel that way.
I feel that way very strongly.
You will be living in a world of fear if Iran steps into Iraq.
One at a time, girls.
Ever
Sorry,
since
Rose,
this
go
government
ahead.
told me to put duct tape and have saran wrap, I felt very safe with this administration.
Yes, right. We're in trouble, and the towers came down by duct tape. Remember that?
You know, it's not just that. It's
A
going
lot of
back to...
people were trying to make us feel safe in that
Look, when
time.
I was a
People
kid,
felt comfort in the fact that they
But
went
I
out
think
and
right
gave
now
us
they've been
things to do.
campaigning on fear.
When I was a child, we had to go under the desk in case a nuclear bomb
Duck
fell.
and cover, I remember.
Things have not changed that much.
Yeah.
That's all.
All I can say this, you know, faith or fear, there's one choice, and a government that leads with fear and tries to scare its own citizens should be really, really looked at closely. Bobby is a brand new movie. Everyone is getting one. We'll be right back after this break with funny Molly Shannon.